you need to move away from that idea of it doing it to you. It's so unfair. This shouldn't be happening to me. This is the worst thing ever. I spent years in that loop. This shouldn't be happening. Why is this happening to me? This is so terrible. I'm an exception. This is the worst thing ever. Got me nowhere. A zero return investment. So you have to be really realistic. We have to be. Because in OCD, you can spend all day ruminating about these things. All day, all day, all day. So you have to be very specific on what's happening. That doesn't mean rigid. It's being realistic. For an alcoholic, that means the realistic awareness that if they drink again, they're realistically going to have a problem in their life. And they may bounce back and forth between that for many years. Can I drink? Can I just drink one or two until, and that's back and forth until they're aware, that's not going to lead to the life that I want. What's the life that I want? The life that I want is a position where day to day it's balanced. Day to day I have mental energy to direct into how I want my life to go about, how I want to go about my life. That is the process that humans are working towards to give themselves the best opportunities in their day-to-day life and functioning. And with OCD, that's it. We're trying to get rid of that chronic guilt and chronic anxiety so we have the additional energy to be able to do the things we want in life and feel at peace watching a film, sitting in the bath, all these things which before are consumed by chronic anxiety, chronic guilt, physical symptoms, and so on. A journey that I lived for many, many years. So that's really important. So it's the only reason you're stuck is because there's a belief there. So you can, of course, we can all say, we've all been to multiple people for help, and we can say, oh, well, that's not work, that's not work, that's not work. It's not a case of, don't look at it like, oh, I'm treatment resistant, this hasn't worked, this hasn't worked. There's a belief. The only reason you're experiencing this today in the present moment is because of fear of something. That's it. That's it. But it takes time to realize that, feel that, embody that. And I have to be really clear about it because there is so much counteracting information for the last 20, 30, how many ever years we've been reading about OCD online, books and so on, where people say, oh, even the definition of recovery is very wishy-washy, like many things, how OCD is discussed. Yeah, some people can recover, everyone's recovery is different, some people are up, some people are down, some people physical symptoms, some people that doesn't work for them, some people this. And it's like you feel hopeless because you're like, wait a minute, that's a medical website, it's a big long 10-page medical document saying that the success rates of recovery is this percentage, that percentage. Oh my God, what a disaster, how unlucky I am to have this disorder. Forget it. The reason those statistics are the way they are is because OCD is misunderstood. So of course they're going to get that data, because the people coming in the door are presenting with still feeling anxious because they've got a strong belief, still feeling anxious because they're still scared of this. And because that isn't seen, of course, that's all just getting marked down as, oh yes, that person hasn't improved because of ... Oh, how many sessions have you done? Oh, Oh, how many exposures have you done? And that's the mistake. Even the mistake is with the phrase ERP is the gold standard. Of course, ERP exposures. What is an exposure? It's just facing a fear in human life. We forget the terms. If I was scared of this box of chocolates here and I approach a box of chocolates over and over, I'm going to learn to see in reality there's nothing to be scared of. There's just a box of chocolates and a box with some chocolates in it. That's it. No other irrational fears in my mind that conjure up around that box of chocolates. Okay? It will see through that illusion of fear. Now, the problem is that exposures are a key part of recovery. Okay? Facing a fear. That's not in of itself rocket science. It's pretty obvious when we look at it. Like, if there's something you're scared of, you face it and you see it's not scary. Okay? It's not some magical tool that gets us magical method. It's just facing something in reality and seeing it for what it is. That's basically what it is. But OCD can morph around that in various ways and attach to other fears, like fear of being a bad person, fear of being chronically anxious forever. So unless we learn how to break those down, how to change our relationship with those through breaking down the irrational beliefs associated, OCD just morphs and sort of fit snugly in a tiny gap just out of reach from that exposure. Then people say, oh, exposures didn't work for me. Oh my God, I must be true. I've been down all that path, and that's exactly the case. So to do what I do for work every day, I have to be able to work with every fear, every situation, every type of a situation that someone's been scared of for a long time, and personality, how that's intercepted into their personality and daily functioning. You can't just approach this with exposure, relief. Most people don't recover with just exposures. Let's face that fact. Most people don't recover with just exposures. There's a lot more to it than that. And that's key to be aware of.